feel like it might be more honest to talk about how not to lead and work from home. Please don't for a moment be fooled into thinking that I am some kind of model on how to do this well. I am simply sharing some tips and strategies that I am aiming to use from one distracted and imperfect home office user to another. The first strategy is setting up a dedicated space. Now, I have the luxury of having a large room that is detached from the rest of our house, and this serves as my home office. If you ignore the fact that this room also doubles as my daughter's playroom and is usually strewn with Lego, Barbies, and craft materials, it's almost perfect. I have worked really hard over recent months to ensure that I have this dedicated space. It is set up with artwork that I find inspiring, everything that I need within easy reach. And this allows me to have a place where my brain knows that it's work time, as well as being able to leave at the end of that work time. Now, I do still have times when I'm working on the couch or at my dining table, but these have now become the exception and not the rule. The second strategy is to create a schedule. You know, one of the benefits of working from home, particularly if you work for yourself, but also in a lot of flexible positions, is that you can create a schedule that suits you and your family and what your life looks like. The downside is that you can be really tempted to leave it all completely unscheduled, and I find that I need some structure to my week. That way I know when I'm working and when I am actually home, as well as creating time for rest, family, and other commitments in my week. Time blocking is a particularly important strategy I find in my schedules. Using this strategy allows me to allocate specific focus time to specific periods of time, and this helps to keep me on track, getting the things done that I need to do, and it helps me to focus my mind so that I'm not trying to do everything at once and splitting that focus all the time. Now, this schedule and time blocks do change over the time, and I'm in the process of working out a new schedule and rhythm for my week now that I'm working from home full time. So I have just given up a job that was 2 days a week, so I've now gained that time to be at home with my other roles and commitments. The next strategy is start up and shut down rituals. Now, I do talk about these in my blog. Links will be in the description, so I won't go into great detail, but basically it's a way to wind your brain up to focus at work and then wind down again after work so that you can be present at home and ready for whatever is next on your schedule. Another strategy I find really helpful is a Pomodoro timer. I find it really easy to get distracted when I'm home alone, and using a Pomodoro timer, there's lots of different apps for it, really helps me to focus in blocks and then have a break to maybe get something done around the house, go for a walk, make a cup of tea, hang out the washing, whatever it might be. Now, as I said, there are a lot of versions of this timer and apps to use, so find one that works for you. Staying connected using technology and in-person meetings. Now, I'm only in my first week of working from home full-time, but I can already see the issue of isolation rising. Now, this is an issue for many around the world this year who are now working from home. Office environments have these natural opportunities to talk and connect with other human beings. That doesn't happen when you're home. So connection takes greater intention and greater planning when you're at home full time. Now, I don't really have this all figured out yet, but my aim is to use technology, whether that's phone calls, teleconferencing, whatever it is, to connect with my team more often. And I'm contemplating possibly setting up some office hours once a week where I can meet with my team online to talk about whatever's on their mind and just have that connection time. I am also scheduling in times where I'm catching up and meeting with people in person. Now, I know this is a bit of a luxury where I live here in Perth, Western Australia, and that may not be immediately possible for all of you depending where you are and what the situation is. But there's something about discussing leadership and ideas over coffee with people that you admire that ignites creativity and passion. At least I have found this to be true for me. I do usually need to schedule some quieter and less focused time afterwards for my little introvert soul to process and settle, but I factor that into my week. Leading a virtual team from home, and part of me feels like I should be an expert in this. My team is spread across Australia, and virtual has been my method of leading for the last several years. And yet I still have so much to learn and apply and grow in. I'm still navigating how to lead a team well when they are volunteers and fit in their responsibilities around work and family and all these other commitments that they have. I find that tasks and projects are so much easier to focus on than connecting and developing my team. And I easily fall into the pattern of not addressing issues in a timely fashion or making excuses for consistent poor performance. And the reality is this damages the organisation and breaks down trust in my team. So these are just a few goals that I have for leading in this next season. The first one is building relationship. So having more regular one-on-one catch-ups through calls and online connection. Having more regular meetings to talk through issues and discuss ideas. And I really want to work on catching them doing things right and giving more praise for that sort of thing. And I'm toying with the idea of maybe video text messages for that to make it a bit more personal. And I'm wanting to look at this idea of engaging with a wider team more often through video and online happy hours and calls that are already happening but joining in. And I already mentioned setting up some open office hours where people can connect in with me. My next goal is being clear on expectations and actually bringing correction when those expectations are not being met. So that's a little bit from me and some of my tips. I would love to hear from you. What are your strategies for being able to lead and work well from home? I find I get so much benefit from listening and reading things from other people. And that is one good thing that's come out of this year is I'm finding there's a lot more resources available on how to lead virtually and work from home. Now the trick is to apply those strategies more consistently. Thanks for watching. Check out the description for the written version of this for all the links that you need, and I'll catch you next time.